In this video, I'll be discussing co-parenting mistakes in high conflict divorces. After the court case is over, the order is sealed, and you think the hard part is done. But that's not for many parents. That's when the real test begins because co-parenting after separation, especially after a high conflict litigation, is where arrangement either stabilizes or slowly unravels. Hi, I'm Dr. Chris C Aniche, children and family law solicitor, a solicitor advocate, and a resolution specialist. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top 5 co-parenting mistakes in high conflict divorce. Not theory, not social media slogans, but real pattern from real cases. And more importantly, how to avoid them, because post-court life is not about winning. It's about sustainability. Let's begin with the mistake number 1. Using the child as a messenger. Have you done that before? It sounds small. For example, tell your dad he's late. Ask your mother about school trip money. But every time a child is used to carry adult communication, they are pulled into emotional crossfire. Under the framework of the Children's Act, the court's paramount consideration is the child's welfare, and also emotional burden on that child is harmful. Even subtle pressure forces a child to manage adult tension. The solution is simple. All adults' communication stays between the adults. Use structured channel, for example, email, parenting app, using clear neutral messages. Your child should never feel responsible for managing the relationship between both of you. Mistake number 2, speaking negatively about the other parent in high conflict separation. Resentment lingers, but children internalizes criticisms of a parent as criticism of themselves because they identify with both of you. So it's important you understand that. When a parent repeatedly undermines the other, courts may view this as failure to promote the child's relationship with the other parents. And that matters. In contested cases involving children's arrangement orders, Children's Act 1989, the judges consistently assesses which parent is more likely to support the child's relationship with the other. That assessment can change outcome. If your child says, Mom said you don't pay for anything, you don't retaliate, you stabilize. You tell your child, that's an adult issue. You don't need to worry about that. Emotional maturity is strategic strength. Mistake number 3, treating the court order as a weapon instead of a framework. Some parents follow order rigidly, minute by minute, refusing flexibility even when circumstances change. Others ignore it entirely. Both approach creates instability. Court order is a safety net, not a straitjacket. Life happens, school events shift, illness occurs, holiday needs adjustment. Reasonable flexibility builds trust. Chronic rigidity builds fresh litigation, and repeated breaches, even minor ones, can escalate into enforcement application. Sustainable co-parenting requires balance. Respect the order, but don't weaponize it. Mistake number 4: failing to create clear boundaries. High conflict couples often struggle with emotional detachment. Argument continues long after separation. Late night messages, personal criticism disguised as parenting concerns. Rehearsing the marriage through parenting discussion. This destabilizes the children. Children need predictability, not emotional spillover. Establish boundaries. Communication limited to child focused issues. No commentaries on personal life. No interrogation about new partner. Parallel parenting where interaction is minimal but structured can sometimes be healthier than forced closeness. Peace is more important than proximity. Mistake number 5: making the child choose. This is the one of the most damaging dynamics. Who do you want to live with? Would you rather stay here? Even subtle framing can create loyalty conflict. Children should never feel responsible for adults' decisions. Yes, the court may consider a child's wishes and feelings depending on age and maturity, but that assessment is conducted carefully, often through Kafkas, within a welfare framework. Parents should not conduct their own informal referendum at home. When children feel forced to align with one parent, anxiety increases, behavior deteriorates, and long-term relational damage can occur. Your role is to protect them from the weight, not add to it. Now, let's step back. High conflict divorce creates emotional residue. That is normal. But co-parenting requires strategic shift from adversarial to functional, from emotional reaction to structured responses, from proving a point to protecting a child. Here's a deeper principle. The court process ends, but parenting does not. Judges frequently observe one critical factor when disputes return to court: which parents demonstrate stability, which parents communicate proportionately, which parents promote welfare consistently. Because when further applications are made under Children's Act 1989, the court looks at the pattern, not isolated incidents, but pattern. And the parents who consistently prioritizes the child emotional security builds credibility, even in high conflict situation, especially in high conflict situation. Let me bring this into a practical focus. If communication is volatile, move it to written format. If handover triggers argument, use neutral location. If discussion escalates, limit topics to essential. If flexibility is abused, return to structure clarity. Co-parenting after separation is not about friendship. It is about functional cooperation, or at a minimum, structured coexistence. Your child does not need perfect parents. They need emotionally regulated ones. And here's the final shift. You are no longer married, but you are permanently connected through your child. That reality requires maturity, not emotional led reactions. So if you recognize yourself in one of these mistakes, pause, adjust, and correct your course early, because long term co parenting success is built in small, consistent behavior, not dramatic gesture. I am Dr. Chris Aniche, and if you value practical, structured guidance on family law and post-court parenting in England and Wales, subscribe to this channel, because navigating life after court requires more than a legal order. It requires strategic discipline and a clear focus on what matters most: your child's stability, your child's welfare, and your ability to lead with composure even when conflict tries to pull you back.